Move over, marry me chicken. F me sideways pork belly is in town. Righto, first step starts back in your butcher or the supermarket. Pick a nice even pork belly, soft fat cap. As you can see, nice thin fat cap. You don't want to eat a length of Peppa Pig's fat. Then you want to get your Peppa the Pig torturing device like a jaccard, something like this, a corn cob holder, a really sharp knife. We're going to pierce the skin, open it up, and that will allow for a nice puffy crackle at the end of the cook. Jaccard the living crap out of Peppa the Pig. Next crucial step is to bang it into the fridge. The reason why you're doing that for 3 days is because we want that skin to dry. We want some of that moisture to come out, and that will give us a much better chance at getting an absolute ripping crackle. Hey, if you're time poor, lazy, can't be stuffed, or you just fucking forgot, smash some table salt across the skin of the pork. That will knock about 24 hours off your skin time. Righto, champions, it's been 3 days. Rip your pork out of the fridge and let's have a look at our handiwork. Prostate glove on. Now, if you can't be stuffed cleaning, throw some alcohol underneath. As you can see, skin is hard as a rock. I reckon even Jeffrey Dahmer might be proud of that one. We're gonna use a killer rub like the Oz Dirt. So you're just gonna flip her on her guts. Season the meat side only. We don't wanna get any seasoning on the skin because that will burn up. Sriracha on for a binder to help the rub to stick a little better. Then with that wicked Oz Dirt rub, we're gonna season from about 50 to 60 centimeters high to get a nice even coverage. For God's sakes, pat, don't rub, save that for the bloody bedroom. If you've got any seasoning, just quickly wipe that off with a paper towel. Then just dab up the last of the seasoning. Now you can just wrap up your alfoil, bang it into the bin. Step here, you want to get something like foil or a wire rack, just so you can prop it up, just something like that. Basically what that will do is assist all the fluid, etc. to drain out of the pork belly and stop it from pooling on top, and that will ruin the crackle. First things first, battle plug is on. Now, regardless if you're cooking on your gas oven or the Weber kettle, the main thing is you want to cook low temperature throughout most of the cook until the meat is tender. So you're sitting at around 160 Celsius. From there, we'll crank the heat up, prepare the skin, and you'll get the crackle right at the very end. That's the way I've achieved the best results out of all the different pork bellies I've cooked over the years. So just remember, if you're on the Weber, you're going to have it set to the smoke setting, so it's about halfway open. Remember, gas oven, gas or barbecue, about 160 Celsius. Right, so if you're cooking in something like a Weber kettle, we're going to go about half briquettes and half lump charcoal. And that's going to be about a half a chimney's worth. Now that the charcoal just started to ash over, we can pour that into one of the charcoal baskets. So just remember, because we're cooking at a lower temperature, we're going to have the charcoal indirect. So we're going to have the charcoal, say, on one side, and we're going to have the meat on the other side. Grate on, but have the hinge over the charcoal in case you need to make any adjustments. I'm going to bang a tiny piece of cherry wood on. The sweetness in the cherry wood complements the pork quite nicely. Vent open over on the meat side. We'll let that preheat for about 10 minutes. Righto, pork on. Now we're not going to touch it until it's nice and tender. i.e. you'll be able to stick a probe through the meat side. We'll go through with very little resistance, or it'll be about 85 Celsius internal. It's been about 2 hours. The internal is about 83 Celsius. The main thing we want to do is check for tenderness. So with a probe or a skewer or something like that, and if it pushes through with very little resistance, and if it glides through like butter, you can either throw some more charcoal in, crank the heat, we'll get the skin going, or you can throw it in your gas barb or your oven. Before we crack on with the pork, we're going to make a quick glaze. 2-3 tablespoons of Coke, quarter of a lemon or lime juice, then a good lashing of the La Familia marinade. And this will be a glaze on the meat side. Good lashing of the glaze. Light coat of oil across the skin, because oil conducts heat better than air. Then some Murray or other pink salt for a bit of that flavour back into the skin. Now crank whatever you're cooking on to at least 250 Celsius. Now this is where you can't slide away to the esky. You've got to watch it like a hawk over the next 10 to 15 minutes. Every 2 to 3 minutes, take a quick look, have a look, make sure it's not burning. Righto, bang him in. Now as you can see, it's starting to darken, it's starting to crisp up on the edges. Watch it like a hawk. If you get any hot spots, put some foil over the top. Righto, crackle's done. Let's let it rest for at least 15 minutes. You've pulled her off, you've glazed her, now start peacocking around the house. Chop her up. Righto, let's give this a red hot shot. Clean up on old 69. Hot tip, if you actually have leftovers, let it cool first, then bang it into the fridge. Then you'll be able to reheat it with crispy skin. Don't forget to bang it in.